How to write a business plan. The long and short of it. An executive summary comes first, company description, market analysis, organization and management, service or product line, marketing and sales, funding request, financial projections. So that's the long and short of it. Now we're going to get into the long part of it. An executive summary. Briefly, just tell everybody what your business does and why it will be successful. You can get all this information on sba.gov. That is GOV. That's where I'm reading this from. But yeah, just an executive summary. Tell them what you're going to do. Like, you wrote stuff in school, I assume, and this is your intro into your business plan. What are you going to do? Why will it be successful? The next is going to be your company description. So what does your business do? You have to going to provide more details and specifics. So consumers, organizations, or businesses your company plans to serve. So basically, who is going to give you money for whatever service or product you are providing or selling. Then you go into a market analysis. So you have to know what your market is. So I started off in trucking, so I had to know what the market was doing with trucks. So how much I could make from moving something from point A to point B. And if I wanted to make that much money, or if I wanted to make a certain amount of money, I had to know what the market was already paying. I couldn't say, hey, I want $100 billion to move 2 Amazon packages down the street and around the corner. Like, that's not how it works. You have to know what your market is doing. So if you clean houses, you have to know, hey, what's the going rate for cleaning houses, or how do they price cleaning houses? If you cut grass, you have to know, hey, how much do my competitors charge, or my customers, what do they already pay, or what are they willing to pay? Are you going to go commercial, or are you going to go residential? Are you going to cut houses, or are you going to cut for businesses? So you have to do your market analysis, your organization and management. Who does what, when, by, how? I know I said that fast. So who does what, when, by, how? It's your legal structure. Are you going to be a LLC? Are you going to be a C Corp? Or are you going to be a S Corp? All the other legal stuff, who owns who, all that kind of stuff. Was this entity own this entity? And who does the roles in the business? Are you just an owner, but do you have a board? Do you have a treasurer who handles the finances? Who does all that kind of stuff? That's your organization and management. Are there I forget the actual term for it, but are there people who are just owners, or do the people who, actually operate the business as well? So those are different. Are there partners? So is it just you? Do you own 100% of the company, or, who owns what percent? You're going to have to, document that. Service or product line. So describe what you sell or what service you offer. That's kind of self-explanatory. Again, if you cut grass, you cut grass, but do you just cut grass? Do you also do other types of lawn care or yard work? Do you plant flowers? Do you trim trees? Do you clean out gutters? Are you a full service lawn care person where it's like, hey, we do it all? If it's outside in your yard for residential people, so for houses, I'm your guy or gal. I'm the business you want to hire. Or do you do a service? So do you do taxes? And what kind of taxes do you do? Do you do commercial taxes, or do you personal taxes? So those are two completely different spaces. And then inside of those, you have different niches or niches, which however you want to pronounce it as well. Do you do commercial taxes for trucking companies, or do you do commercial taxes for restaurants, or do you do commercial taxes for another industry, or do you specialize in personal taxes? Do you specialize in people who own a lot of stock, or people who are just, hey, I just have a W-2, but I make a little bit of money with my side hustle on the side? So what services do you sell? Then you're going to do your funding request. So usually this is if you are asking a bank or investors to fund your business. So this is for everybody who either has money or doesn't have money. You don't have to do this part. if you're not asking for any money. But if you are asking for a loan of any type, this is going to be necessary. So specifically, you'll want your debt or equity, and some other stuff that, you can go to SBA.gov and look for. Just Google business plan from the SBA, which stands for the Small Business Administration, and they'll have a lot more detail on that for you. If you want more detail, let me know. Then we have your financial projections. Usually they want about 3 years from my experience, at least the banks that I work with. They want financial projections on what you plan to make month by month, and as you grow, what you expect to make. And that's going to come out of research from your market. So again, I was in trucking, so I had to research rate per mile. So that's how much the trucks get paid for every mile they drive, loaded, of course. So that's when you're loaded, that's when you're actually getting paid. When you're not loaded, that's when you're not getting paid. So I had to know that. So I had to know the average miles that a semi truck drives in a week. So then I had to scale that out to a month, and I had to scale that out to a year. And then I had to scale that out to year 2 and year 3 and say, hey, this is about how much money I expect this truck to make on average with me doing the work that I want to do. So I don't want to drive full time, or I want to drive more than full time. I'm uncomfortable with that. Or I'm going to drive, 75% of the time compared to the average. So then I go in there with, accurate projections, and that helps the business or the bank decide if they're going to fund you or not. And, it's not going to be one and done. They're going to go back and forth until you get good with it. They're going to like, oh, well, this seems a little too high, or that seems a little too low. And, it's a process. It's a plan, and plans change over time until they actually, you nail it. And even after that, I've just had to write a pivot statement for one of my lenders and say, hey, I'm pivoting my direction. It's like, I want to go with my trucking business in this direction. I'm looking to buy some equipment. They're like, oh, why are things doing that? It's 2022 right now. Fuel prices for trucks were over $6 a gallon, and that was insane. So I was like, hey, I can still make money and kind of stay afloat, but I'm also going to lose money if I keep doing this in the long run. I have to pivot and change the direction of my business. So then we redo projections, all that kind of stuff, and I was going to get some more equipment. But it happens. So don't be too scared of a business plan. It seems really, really complex. But just to summarize, what does your business do? What market is your business in? So how much can you charge for your services or your products? What are your competitors charging? How will your business be structured is number 3. So LLC is usually for most people, but you're probably still going to do your taxes as a sole proprietor, but this isn't legal advice or tax advice. Service or product line. So what are you going to sell, or how are you going to serve your customers, and who are you selling to? And who are you selling to? Is it going to be residential or commercial? So usually, are you selling to individual people, or are you selling to businesses? And then even inside of the businesses, you can sell to individual businesses, or you can sell to blocks of businesses, or you could sell to, blocks of consumers, however you want to do it, if depending on your market. Then your marketing and sales, how are you going to market your business? How are you going to get sales, your funding requests, and then financial projections? So that is the long and short, or the long part, or it's kind of longer, kind of shorter. It can go a lot more detail, but that is initially how you write a business plan. If you found this helpful, I don't know, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you want to do. My producer's over there like, say it. I don't want to say it. Cut it off. I'm done. Business Plans 101.